Hi everyone, Shanna with Apogee of the Moon, and I am bringing you a weekly forecast for, let me look here, December 19th through the 25th. It's bad when I don't know what day it is. And so I know today is Saturday, so I'm a day late in posting this, and I do apologize. But this coming week from the 19th through the 25th, we are going to have some really, it's going to be like the crescendo of the year. We're going to have a lot of things coming exact for the final time. We're going to be having the final Saturn Uranus square. That's like the big thing. We've been feeling it already. Events have been unfolding. Venus is stationing to go retrograde on the 19th, so the day after I am recording this. And so she is sitting very still in the sky. And so, there's definitely some themes surrounding, what's coming in the next week. And so I actually, as an anecdotal story, went to the, not the grocery store, I went to a local chain store, Target, I'll name it. And it was so jam-packed. Everyone literally has the same idea. Everyone was getting, stocking stuffers, like, little fruit candies or little chocolate bars or things like that, to just stocking stuff, right? Like it is that time of year, and that's what happens this time of year. And I was so floored by the amount of people, literally, because where I am right now, there is, we're under forced mandates of certain things. So anyway, Venus is about to go retrograde. It's a big thing coming this week. And so I do want to talk about that a little bit in the forecast. I'm not going to be going through all 12 signs. So if that was your hope in tuning in, I do apologize. I'm going to go through the events of the week as they unfold. Excuse me. And sorry about that. And, we do have the sun moving into Capricorn. So we do have the solstice, which I'm really excited for. The Saturn Uranus square. And then the second pass, the second of two passes, even though technically they're still conjunct, Venus and Pluto, technically they're still conjunct because they're within a certain set of degrees, but the exact pass of it for the second time is coming. So we'll talk about that too. So to start with, we do have Venus stationing to go retrograde, and this happens on the 19th. She actually kind of like moves backwards in the sky a little bit. And so she will be retrograde from the 19th of December through the 29th of January. So this is a pretty big deal. Venus only goes retrograde once every 1.6 years. So there is that. And this is what we really need to focus on and really reevaluate, is all the things Venusian in a Capricorn theme. So our relationships to money, our relationships with people, to all places and all things that we have a vested interest in, right? So Venus is definitely, it rules the sign of Taurus, and Venus as a planet is our vested interest, what we hold valuable. And whether or not that's people, places, or things, this is up for reevaluation. So this Venus retrograde is different than most, just because over this time, there will be the second conjunction to Pluto, like I just said. Venus will be Cazimi, which usually happens. She will become the morning star versus the evening star that she's been for the last 9 months. And we'll talk a little bit about that too. Mercury and Mars will also be coming conjunct Venus, but Mercury will be coming conjunct Venus as she's retrograde. Mars will come conjunct Venus as she is direct, not freshly stationed, but like, within a week or so after she stations to go direct and starts moving forward, Mars will come in and they will come together in the sky. So there is that. And so, this planet, she's going retrograde in and then direct in the sign of authority, power, prestige, hierarchy. So this can see people with heavy Taurus and Libra placements rising to power, right? So as long as they've put in the work, because this is a Saturn ruled sign, and Capricorn appreciates hard work and structured very structured, very hardworking, very like nose to the grindstone, get things done in the way and the order that you need to get them done in. That's Capricorn. So Venus rules both, Taurus and Libra, like I said. And even though here in Capricorn, she does have to give sway and give way to Saturn's rule, Saturn likes Venus. And so Saturn kind of softens with Venus here, that Venus can abide by the rules of Saturn, but Venus as a planet can get away with a little bit more because of that. Just because of what I have experienced personally in my own life and in, lives of other people that I know that have, certain placements that have to do with Saturn and Venus. And so there is a little bit of, I don't want to say leeway, but there is a little bit more wiggle room for some mistakes to happen. Not a lot, but some. So don't get me wrong, this is still Capricorn. This is still a very structured, very powerful sign. But with Venus working her magic, we can see very deep and very profound change and dynamic pivots, right, over the next several months as she works from 26 degrees all the way back to 11 degrees in Capricorn. So the cardinal signs will be feeling this the most: Aries, Cancer, Libra, and of course Capricorn. The earth signs will have an easier time of this, except for, of course, for Capricorn. But I mean, it's Venus. It's not like it's going to bring anything detrimental. Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn will be feeling this in the more positive ways, as well as the water signs, Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. Even in opposition to Cancer, Venus is still not going to bring anything horrible, right? But the fire signs and the air signs may feel this, but not in the way that you would expect. And I'm not going to go into great detail on that, but it could be a little disharmonious, but still yield good results once it's over and done with, and Venus is moving onward into Aquarius later on. And so later in the week, we do have the sun coming into a really nice sextile with Jupiter. And this one, I like this aspect this week, even though, we do have the final Saturn Uranus square, we do have Venus coming conjunct Pluto again. And so I really do like the sun in sextile with Jupiter, because this can be setting ourselves up to, and this is on the 19th. This is the same day that Venus goes retrograde. This can be working with true leaders, true spiritual leaders, true gurus, right? And understanding that we all have our own way and our own approach to everything, even if someone doesn't see how, it still works. But this is more working with real teachers, not, some of these people that make claims that they have no business claiming because they have not had the experiences that they should, to be able to make those claims. If that's how I'll put it, that's how I'll leave it. So this can be a learning moment for the masses. This can be a learning moment for groups of people if they so choose to see what is in front of their noses. This can be a collective shift here at the end of Sagittarius and Aquarius. So lots of heat, lots of fire, lots of passion, and, learning, because it is Jupiter, right? Jupiter is teaching the masses something. And in these last degrees, this is a mastery. This is the last decan, it's a mastery. So this can see or be a unifying energy for freedom, for freedom seeking, for shirking the yoke that kind of holds you back. This can see this aspect, but it's fleeting, right? Because it is the sun, it is Jupiter, it is only a sextile, and it's fleeting, right? And it'll be done in a few days. On December 20th, we do have Mercury coming into a trine with Uranus. And so even though this is Capricorn, we can still have those really wild outside of the box aha moments. We can see, you know, with different eyes, the path ahead, and every step that we need to take is dynamic and different than what we imagined or thought it would be, right? Because Mercury is that mental planet where, you know, we think we're knowing what it is that we're doing. And, you know, with Mercury having to go retrograde or coming back from Aquarius and being retrograde in this sign, you know, there's definitely some ground that we're going to have to recover here, but not in the area of the crazy aha moments to Uranus. This would be the conjunction to Pluto, which is very deep, very precise, and very exacting. So excited to see what brings, what's brought to the surface for that one. Now on the 21st, I want to say happy solstice, Merry solstice. For those of you that don't celebrate the solstice, you know, this is a big thing for me in my household as well, for my children and I, let's put it that way. So my husband does not like the fact that I celebrate the solstice, or Yule as we put it. So anyway, difference of opinion. The sun does join Mercury, Venus retrograde, and Pluto in Capricorn in the sign of authority. So technically the sun is now at its weakest point here in the northern hemisphere, even though the sun in Capricorn is not technically in its detriment like it will be when it hits Aquarius. This is still not a very powerful place for the sun to be. This point, however, 0 degrees of Capricorn, is a power point because it is a solstice. So the 4 points would be, you know, the sun into Capricorn, the sun into Aries, the sun into Cancer, and the sun into Libra. These are power points because these herald a crisis or a shift in energy. So just so everyone's aware of that. So now the sun technically dies on the 21st. And so I did want to explain a little bit what I mean by that. So the sun dies on the Crew constellation in the sky. So when the sun sets, it actually sets on the Crew constellation in the south, you know, and in 3 days, it will visibly rise off the cross and be reborn. And so it will start to travel higher and higher into the sky in the northern hemisphere. And anyone that follows, you know, the more mainstream, will see the parallels with this time of year and the subsequent holiday that is very mainstream that will be followed. So there's a reason for that, right? And so the sun now heralds the end of the solar year. This is the beginning of the next solar year. So the end and the beginning, this is where this kind of stuff happens. So now is the time for planning, for seeding in darkness, what will come to pass in the following year, what we will grow in the following year. Capricorn is a feminine sign, even though people think for whatever reason that it's a masculine sign. It's not, it's feminine, it's receptive. So making our plans, making a list, checking it twice. And this can see people, I know some people I know do vision boards on this day, and they map out the year that they want ahead with keywords, pictures, photographs, things like that. So these are all things that you can do around the solstice because this actually is the true day of power. I'm just saying. So, you know, what will you do with this energy? What will you call in? What will you put out to be receptive on from the universe? And what answers can you gain from this day? And because it's not just about looking forward, this is also about the reconciliation of the things from the previous year that have transpired. You know, good, bad, indifferent, doesn't matter. So where can we focus on coming back into balance in our lives? Because the next PowerPoint will be when the sun enters the point of exaltation, which is 0 degrees of Aries in the springtime. And so this is the spring equinox. This is when the powers that be shall be balanced, right? So when you're talking light and dark, day and night, the 21st is the darkest day of the year. It is a time of reflection. It is a time of contemplation. It is a time of looking within and evaluating what's going on, right? These can be big key words for Capricorn, right? Evaluation, reflection, you know, diving into the deepness that we have within us and looking in all the doors, all the windows, all the places, because Capricorn is a very structured sign. So there is that. And that was a tangent, and I'm sorry. So then on the 24th, on Christmas Eve, if you celebrate Christmas, Merry Christmas Eve. The final pass of Saturn square Uranus is coming exact, and with Uranus stationing, you know, pretty much for its direct motion in the middle of January, it is where it will be. It's at the same degree that it's going to station. So it's literally sitting heavy in the sky right now. And so it's super strong. And so this one will be wild. Things will be very kind of left field, out of nowhere. What the heck was that? And, you know, we do, it's like a reconciliation of sorts. You know, some people do say that the final pass is a reconciliation, but there's still some things that need to be sorted through this, because later in 2022, they will get super close. They won't be exact again, but they will get super close. So there's definitely something that needs to be revisited later in 2022 from the events that have transpired from 2021. So, you know, the pressure, the burden of limitation, it's too stifling, it's too constrictive, and we need to make changes. So now we can, and they can be wild, and they can be different, and they can be very dynamic. I'm not telling you to blow your life up. Please don't quote me by saying that that's what I'm telling you, because that's not what I'm telling you. I'm just telling you that wild changes can happen, especially because Uranus is stationing to go direct on the 18th of January. And I'll get into that in my monthly forecast, and I will be doing all 12 signs at that point. So things will be changing with my channel. I'm going to do monthly forecasts for all 12 signs and break it down week by week of most important astrological configurations to pay attention to per week. That's what I'll be doing. So the jittery, wild, out-of-the-box craziness that we have been forestalling, stuffing down, hiding away will now break wide open and into a full-on affront of all at once, in-your-face, drastic change. That's what has to happen. That's what this does. That's what happens when a planet is stationing, when it comes into an exact pass with another planet. It creates, especially Uranus and Saturn together. So anyone else ready to ride the bolts of lightning out of Dodge? Because I know I am. Anyway, let's go. So on December 25th, we do have Venus making her second pass to Pluto, second conjunction to Pluto. And so this is 2 out of 3 that's going to be happening. She is now retrograde. And so this is revisiting the events around the day of December 11th, whatever that looked like for you, however that looked like for you, whatever was going on for you. For me personally, I know what this is, and anyway, I know what this is for me. So what was happening, what was going on, what intense and profound things happened around this day for you, to you, around you, what have you. So this will be what it is that we're revisiting with this second hit of Venus conjunct Pluto coming exact, a new development, another step on the journey of profound insight and depth of focus, right? Because Venus and Pluto are in Capricorn. This is very reflective, very internal reflective. So perhaps our perception of the events have shifted just slightly, seeing things different now in hindsight. We can get a better picture of the events that transpired around December 11th, you know, a day or two before, a day or two after, what have you. So perhaps relationships have shifted with Venus now retrograde. Perhaps people have shown us something that we were not expecting to affect us in the way that it is now affecting us. Now we have to review, we have to reevaluate, and we have to ponder and revisit what it is that these changes need to be made here in this Capricorn area of our life. So that is what I have for you. I really do hope that you enjoyed this. I hope that it was helpful. And I just realized that you probably could only see like my forehead as I was recording because I was looking at my notes because, well, anyway. So I hope that you all have a great week. Happy solstice, Merry solstice, and happy Christmas.